lot of rain chances in your forecast here over the next couple of days. So notice here tomorrow we have about a 40% chance. It's not going to rain all day. In fact, the majority of the daytime hours actually look fairly dry. But tomorrow evening, we're going to be seeing rain moving in out of the south, pushing northward. And then we have several chances throughout the remainder of the work week. However, I will say temperatures are really going to be moving in the right direction. By the end of this week, we're counting on highs that are going to be well into the 60s, if not close to 70 in some locations. Rain, it's not a bad thing. A lot of us are dealing with drought-like conditions, so future precipitation here running us all the way through the end of the day on Friday shows that most areas are looking at right around an inch to about 1.75 inches. So not a lot of rain, and again, it's going to be very spread out. So we just have several systems coming through, and none of them are really going to be dumping a lot of rain all at once. The drought monitor, we're actually dealing with severe drought across the far southwestern sections of LaSalle County. So again, rain is going to be a good thing. I'll time it all out for you coming up in just a bit. Mid to upper 30s across a couple locations. We're still at 37 at Midway. Same thing in Merrillville. It's 35 degrees at O'Hare. Futurecast taking us throughout the rest of this evening. Notice how these numbers really don't change all that much. So going into early tomorrow morning, we have temperatures that are going to be hovering just above the freezing mark. There's a chance that we could be seeing a couple isolated rain showers here or there during the day, but a much better chance of rain, that's going to arrive during the evening and then into the overnight, but mainly for locations near and south of I-80. So north of I-80, not much in the way of rainfall is coming our direction Tuesday evening into Tuesday night, but we're going to have several opportunities through the week. Again, we're going to be kind of in this parade of storm systems moving through. So every single day from Tuesday all the way through Saturday, we have at least the chance of seeing some rain. For tonight, low temperatures I think are briefly going to touch that 32-degree mark, but then we're expected to rise to about 33, 34 degrees by daybreak. We'll have east-southeasterly winds right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. The out-the-door forecast for Tuesday, chance of a couple stray or isolated rain showers. Otherwise, I think we're just going to be mostly cloudy. Temperatures by 10 should be up to around 40. Eventually, we'll find our highs right around 43. We're up to 46 degrees on Wednesday. I think on Wednesday morning, we'll start off with a glimpse of some sunshine, so partly sunny to get the day started. But then by midday into the afternoon, we have another chance of rain, possibly a couple thunderstorms. On Thursday, highs are going to be right around 50. And then finally, we are looking at 60s late this week. That's going to last into the weekend. And then even into early next week, I think temperatures stay very mild in the 60s. In fact, you get super lucky this time around. But for those of you that are really hoping, set your alarms anyway. You just might get lucky and get a break in the cloud cover over your location. So your 5-day forecast here, as far as precipitation is concerned, we have several chances of rain that's going to be arriving, and it begins tomorrow, and it's going to last all the way until Saturday. That said, it's not going to be raining the entire time. We're going to have several dry hours in the mix, but this is really going to be one of those weeks that you're going to need to keep the umbrellas handy, because at several times throughout the day, you're going to be needing a couple showers. And this isn't a bad thing either. Take a look at the drought monitor. This is something that, oftentimes during the winter, we're not always thinking about drought conditions because you're not really thinking about the growing season and planting season. But we're getting a little bit closer to that now that we're getting into those spring months. And notice where we have all of the red shading here. So downstate Illinois into portions of central Indiana, and then stretching up into northwest Ohio toward Toledo, Ohio, we have an extreme drought. Now, the good thing about the weather pattern that we're going to be stuck in here this week is that we're going to see several systems parading through the region, and the heaviest accumulation of rain is likely going to be just south of our area. So it could be a really good thing for folks that are dealing with those extreme drought conditions. Now, here at home, notice kind of hugging the lakefront here, we're not really highlighted in any color. So what that's telling us is we're not dealing with those drought-like conditions near Chicago, up toward Evanston, and then rounding the lake into Lake Porter and LaPorte. But once you see the yellow shading, that's considered to be abnormally dry. And for those of you in southern Kankakee, parts of Newton and Jasper, and then definitely over toward LaSalle County, that's where we have a moderate drought, if not a severe drought across the far southwestern sections of LaSalle County. So the rainfall that we have in your forecast this week, while it's not a ton, it's a really good thing that a lot of it is likely going to be focused near and south of I-80, where we most heavily need that rainfall. Your high temperatures today, we ended up topping out in the 30s in Waukegan, but we did actually make it to 51 degrees in LaSalle. So we had a really wide range of temperatures, and here's where we're headed. So the next couple of days, we're going to be in the 40s on Tuesday and Wednesday. By Thursday, we're close to 50. And then going ahead into Friday and Saturday, we have temperatures that are expected to be in the 60s. And then I think we stay in the 60s this weekend, and then possibly even into early next week. So this spring-like weather pattern looks like it's going to continue for us for a little while. Satellite and radar, things are quiet, but we're already starting to see some of those higher level clouds beginning to work their way in. An isolated shower or two is going to be possible tomorrow during the day, but a better chance of rain is going to arrive late afternoon into the evening hours, mainly near and south of I-80. But again, that heavier swath of rain is likely staying just south of the area. And then we have another push of rainfall that's going to be arriving midday Wednesday, likely lasting into the afternoon, before yet another push of rain is going to be here on Thursday. For tonight, 33, we'll have east-southeasterly winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour. 7-day forecast tomorrow, 43, 46 on Wednesday. We jump up to near 50 on Thursday. Again, several rounds of rain even later this week. And then we will have a chance of thunderstorms by the end of this week with highs in the 60s. Let's get a check of your weather.